saying a living wage.
Right.
Now, whatever it takes to live, when you decide to give, that's what we need.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We still need that living wage. Don't get it twisted where we going to sit on 15 and the cost of living is 30. Oh, no, we ain't stopping there neither. We're going to be right back on the street. See, we're fighting this fight because I don't want my daughter to have to fight this same fight 10 years from now. You see what I'm saying? So what we're saying is by saying 15, we got home care workers, health care workers, everybody is hollering for 15. But this is just like a base. You know what I'm saying? It's a floor where everybody can look to. And we're getting people out of the social justice movement. We're getting people with Black Lives Matter. This thing is growing. It's growing so huge that they're going to wish they had gave us $15 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Because it's getting so big. People are tired of being mistreated. People are tired of being misused. $15, it's not just about me. See, if it was just about me, I could be happy with $20 an hour. But it ain't about me. It's about my kids and your kids and our grandkids and our great. What kind of America is they going to grow up in? Right. Somebody fought so we could live a little bit better. And so we have to fight so the people that's coming behind us can live a little bit better. But we say 15 just as a symbol, as something to look to. You know, as a way to move, because prior to that, wasn't nobody moving nowhere and wasn't no union. So now we all moving somewhere right now, but we're not going to stop at 15. What we want is a living wage, a decent society, no crime in our streets, not getting shot in the head in our streets. We don't want none of that. Not getting hung in the jails. We don't want none of that. That's right. We against all of that. The 15, you know, is not being something where we 2012 or 20, you know, we just want some justice in America. We think we deserve justice in America. We think that America said that we could have justice right here. And that's what we at. And we're tired of hoping for it. We're going to make it happen. We're going to make it happen.
Do any of our sisters in Espanol have a question or anything? I just want to make sure we create some space.
Preguntas en español?
No, it's okay. All right. Other questions or comments or?
Yeah. The comment that I would like to make is that, you know, people act like it's a big deal to ask for $15 an hour, and that is absolutely ridiculous. I think that it is absolutely disgusting that we live in a country where people make billions and billions of dollars, and they think that it's okay to let other people suffer. Like, to me, that's the larger issue, that the entire country should say this is not okay. It is not okay for people to force other people to live this way.
Right.
There's no reason for it. So to me, it's a symbolic fight. Yes, it's a place to start, but I think that the tide is changing to say, no, that's not okay for you to be up here and everyone else be down here. Like, where's the ethics in that? You know, it's not even a morality thing. It's not ethical.
That's a good point. And I just want to, you know, if we all take a step back, though, and think about, remember when the Tea Party popped up? Right? Yep. And what year was that about? Like 2010-ish?
Yeah.
Right? And they effectively created this, like, we need to cut everything. Government's bad. Cut, right? I mean, that was the conversation we were having in this country. It was all about, you know, cuts, you know. Austerity. And if you think about then, and then, you know, folks started organizing, Occupy happened, right?
Yeah.
And there was a shift where for the first time there started to be a conversation about income inequality, right? And what I see is the fight for 15 is now starting the conversation about a solution to income inequality, right? And the union as being a part of that. So if you look at the kind of the narrative, right? And where's the Tea Party now? I mean, they're there, but they've been marginalized. They're not the top lines in the news anymore, right? You know, even some of the presidential candidates on the Republican side are going to have to say, yeah, we should raise the minimum wage. They're going to be in a position where they're going to have to say that, right? Because of what's been happening right now. So I mean, I have a lot of hope at where we're at from where we were, and I do believe that fast food workers are going to win their union, and once they do, it's going to be a groundswell for everything.
I have a question. What do you think the next steps should be for this movement to really get, to be done, to get done?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is it just more people on the ground, or?
So,
No.
I mean, I think, as far as next steps, I think one is like here in Des Moines,
Yeah,
we need to organize fast food workers in Des Moines.
right.
And get fast food workers engaged and building a nice committee of workers to start really sharing their story and joining into this national fight. I think that's key. Like immediate next steps, right? And then I also think that we've got this, y'all are positioned for this 2016 presidential election.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that, the pundits, the news, they like to try to set like what the debate's about. We need to make sure we're setting what the debate's about.
That's right.
And we need to make sure that we're framing it in a way that forces them to talk about the issues we want to talk about. Because what we know right now is that the Democratic primary, they're all going to move to the left, and they're going to tell us everything we want to hear. Right? I mean, you saw Hillary Clinton. She called into the fast food worker convention saying more radical stuff than I've ever heard her say. Right? It wasn't because she wanted to, like Doug said. It's because she had to. And she wants Doug's vote. Right? Right? So, but what we know is then once they win the primary, they move right back to the center, right? Or center right, right?
Who's funding her campaign?
Right, the banks. But what we have
said
to
the
do,
banks.
so what we have to do though is that we need to continue this groundswell that forces them even further, and we have to get them out publicly and really hold their feet to the fire on this stuff. But we also cannot wait for them. Like we can't also get lost in the presidential elections that they're going to be our savior and save us, because even the most well-intended, because I believe Barack Obama was well-intended, but he didn't do everything we wanted him to do, right?
Nope.
Because we didn't stand by him like we should in the
But-
midterm election.
But at the end of the day, though, that's why we got to take it to the corporations. That's what this campaign is so exciting to me, because we aren't asking the politicians to do anything for us. We're saying, McDonald's, you made $5.6 billion in profit, and we are going after you, and we're taking it to you. And the politicians are jumping in now, but we're not going to get our eye off the ball, which is getting McDonald's to the table. You have a question back here.
Yeah, I had a question about framing of the issue. So I know that
What's your name?
John.
John.
John Noble. So I'm talking about the way that this issue is sort of framed. These workers will contribute to the economy. These workers will blah blah blah, as opposed to framing this, as an issue of dignity, as an issue of a human right and of human dignity.
Right.
And I saw both of those things, and I think both of those can be productive. But I was curious to see what your thoughts are on how we frame that issue.
I mean, I think it's both. I think it is both, right? I mean, I think to the the gentleman here was talking about the conservatives that will even agree that it isn't right that we have to publicly subsidize McDonald's, right? Because so part of that is talking about how you raise wages, then the workers will be able to afford what they need, and they're not going to need public assistance, which is good for taxpayers. That's the the argument to make to the people that hate paying taxes, right? But then, for those of us though, there's also just about the dignity of work, and we've lost that. There used to be a time when you go to work and you can make a living, you could buy a house, you could raise a family, and we've lost that. So I think it's both, right? Does that make sense to you? Yeah. And I think that's where it is key.
I have one for Doug.
Please.
Just a question. You didn't say it, but you're raising a 17-year-old daughter, and that really spoke to me in terms of being a single parent and doing that, and especially with a daughter. And you're right, there are certain needs and things. But you also talked about your health issues. And I heard you say 3 serious issues that you're dealing with, which requires medication. Do you receive benefits at McDonald's? How are your medications paid for? When you